So what am I? Hello, my dearest friends. I sincerely hope that you are all having collectively one giant, wonderful day. So I just did a video going into great detail why I am all but certain that we are getting the next generation Nintendo console hardware next year, holiday 2024. But now I want to look at the rumors, the real juicy stuff, the stuff that has been coming out about said console. We've been hearing rumblings about this here and there, but then just recently, this big, huge report came out over on VGC, and I know a lot of people, they're rolling their eyes right now. They're very, very skeptical. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There is a really big difference between some guy on a forum somewhere who says some stuff, and everyone's like, whoa, he accurately predicted that there was gonna be a Mario game, and so, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between that and a reputable news outlet, such as VGC, saying, we have personally spoken with multiple people who claimed and corroborated the same stuff, and here we are presenting this report. And in this case right here, it is the latter. These are usually true. They are, I know. Some people, like, they hear the word rumor and they don't want to believe it, but like, they're usually true. They were true before the Switch was actually revealed. These similar reports were coming out. They all ended up being true. And then throughout the life of the Switch, we've seen a lot of different games. Whenever they come out, whenever they're reported on in this particular way, they're usually true. Sometimes they end up not being true, but then that could be for specific reasons. Switch Pro ended up not being true, but we think it's because it got canceled. Star Fox Grand Prix, there was a big confusing mess around that, but they weren't baseless. You know what I mean? I really do think this is the real deal, and I will admit, it's weird. It's always weird to me. Nintendo, they're so tight-lipped, and if it is true that right now they are sharing dev kits only with key developers, quote unquote, then like which ones of those developers are just so multiple of them? Oh, we got the dev kit. Let's just run over to the nearest news outlet and just start blabbing. I don't know. Do they think as long as they keep it vague enough, like only tiny little tidbits, then like Nintendo won't sniff them out? I really don't know. It is weird, and yet for whatever reason it happens. Could just be one of those things where Nintendo's like, yeah, we know people are gonna blab about it, but whatever. It's just how things work. So what I'm gonna do is go through this report and just hit all of the major details about what they are claiming for the next Nintendo system. They're claiming that the system is slated for the second half of 2024, and we can assume if it's in the second half, it's probably gonna be pretty close to the holidays, because why would it not be? There have been some things somewhat recently saying maybe first half of the year, but at this point everyone's basically saying the second half, and yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't be. It just makes sense. Weirdly, the thing about this report too is like you don't even necessarily know what is coming like verbatim from a developer, or if it's being kind of summarized by VGC, or you know what I mean? It's not really clear. We don't have a lot to go off of here. But whatever the case, the report is saying that it's coming in the second half, quote, to ensure ample stock is available day one and avoid the kind of shortages seen with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S/X. I don't really know what that means. I don't know like what having it be in the second half of the year, how that ensures that you're not going to have shortages. It's just like that it's far enough away from now. I don't exactly know. Also, PlayStation and Xbox, they had shortages because there was, that thing. Remember that thing that happened in 2020? There was a whole thing. I don't even remember anymore, but like it made chips hard to get. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting all lost in the weeds here. Who cares? Second half of 2024. There you go. Makes sense. And here's the thing about a new system. We keep wondering, is it going to be another Switch? Is it going to be another portable console hybrid? And we hope that it is. Everyone hopes that it is, pretty much. I mean, you got plenty of people who'd rather have something just for the TV, for the raw power or whatever. But like pretty much like business-wise, it only makes sense for them to do it again, do another Switch, and at least according to this report, it seems that is probably what is happening. They say it will be able to be used in portable mode. And if it can be used in portable mode, there's really no reason to believe that it wouldn't also be able to connect to the TV. The idea of them, it's a system and you hold it in your hands. Oh, where do you plug it into the TV? You just can't this time. Why not? I don't know. So, yeah, not super likely. So it's probably another Switch, and that's very good. And you know, since it's portable, that means it has a screen. Makes sense. And they're saying that it will likely have an LCD screen, not an OLED screen. And that is, of course, to save costs. And that is something that I will bet money on. I will bet money. Maybe they'll have multiple models. You know, they'll have the OLED one for however much more, or maybe down the line they will. But here's the thing about Nintendo. They love saving money. If it's not associated with, like, the gimmick they're trying to push, they will cheap out. And I know it's just their business model. They like to make money on the hardware itself. And also, they just need this thing to be appropriately priced. They need it to be competitive. So it's a balancing act, and that means that the screen, it doesn't need to be an OLED screen, so it's not gonna be an OLED screen, you know? So I completely believe that, and it says they wanted to lower the cost, quote, especially considering the increased storage need for higher fidelity games. And that is a big one right there. That's the thing. The Switch, 32 gigs of internal storage. That is not gonna fly this time. If this new system has the power of, you know, an Xbox One, PS4, as it probably will, you know, maybe it'll end up being a little bit weaker, but the games are gonna be a lot bigger and a lot prettier than games on the Switch, and that just means more storage. It means exponentially more storage will be needed to hold these games. 32 gigs is not gonna work, so that means Nintendo is basically gonna, I mean, like, you know, it'll have expandable storage, and it'll probably still not be as much as we want, but, like, you have to be able to install, like, a game or two, you know, at the very, very least, you kind of have to. So at this point, I think Nintendo is kind of forced to put some, you know, like 100 or 200 gigabytes, something like that is what I'm guessing. I don't know if 200 is asking for too much. But yeah, like, they basically have to up it from 32 gigs, and that's, yeah, another reason why they're gonna want to cheap out on the screen. It makes sense. Perhaps predictably, yet I would say still interestingly, they say the new system will accept physical games via a cartridge slot. Nintendo sticking with cartridges makes sense and doesn't make sense. I'm very torn on this. It makes sense because it's just easy, it's simple, it's something that kids can do. Cartridges are just, they're easier to handle, you know, and that's a very Nintendo thing, easily being able to, like, change out the cartridges. The thing is, though, the cartridges have been really tough on Switch because those little proprietary cartridges, they cost a lot of money, and that is eating into the cost of a lot of these games and the, you know, eating into the profit and causing publishers to raise the prices of their games. That's the whole Switch tax thing. And if they're gonna continue down that road, then it's gonna be the same exact problem, except now you have games that are gonna be way too big for, like, the original Switch cartridges. You know, it had, like, your 4 gigs and your 8 gigs, and then the super crazy ones were more than that. But it's like they're gonna have to come up with another, even bigger proprietary card format that's just gonna be expensive all over again. So I don't really know, and I don't even know what the alternative is. I know they're not gonna wanna go full digital. Someday, probably, but I imagine not yet. But, you know, you could do something like the UMD on the PSP, but they're bigger and they're more prone to break and all that stuff. So, and then you just have more whirring, moving parts on the inside. They want it to be compact. So yeah, basically I'm just saying, it sounds like it's gonna have cartridges, and I guess that makes sense, but I don't know how they're gonna address this problem of expensive cartridges with bigger and bigger games to put on them. So one very big question, probably like the biggest question, you know, like the biggest one is like, is it a Switch again? Okay, fine. If it is, next question. Backwards compatibility. It's gonna be so huge. I'll probably I might even do a whole video just on that topic. I don't know, but, like, we all know it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. The Switch has such a huge library, so massive. If they want people to move over to the new system fluidly and easily and happily, there's gotta be some backwards compatibility. You can't expect everybody to just restart their whole library. People just be like, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna stick with this. I have a huge backlog. I could just wait, you know, 3 years for Switch 2. So here's the thing about backwards compatibility. no one is sure yet. Nobody's 100% sure. And here's another one of those quotes that, like, I don't exactly know how to take the quote or, like, who said it or what. It just says, some third-party publishers are said to have expressed concern that legacy support for Switch games could negatively affect sales of next-gen titles. And I mean, like, that goes without saying. If Nintendo didn't include backwards compatibility, like, oh, because they're greedy and they can resell the games all over again. But, like, there is a limit to how much people will accept. You know what I mean? We'll take a lot. We really will take a lot of abuse from Nintendo. But I do think that there is a limit. Nintendo can be greedy sometimes, but they are not known to always do the absolute most maximum scummy greedy thing possible. And if they didn't include backwards compatibility, haha, just so everybody has to rebuy our games, and they're rubbing their hands together and twiddling their mustaches, like, it's a little hard for me to see that happening. And, you know, if some third-party publishers are kind of feeling the same thing, like, I don't know, like, we want people to rebuy our games, sure, but, like, you can't always get what you want. You can't always have the most money-grubby thing possible. So I'm trying to hold out hope here. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm cautiously optimistic that it is going to be a thing, at least in some way, at least like a halfway backwards I don't really know. But I'm definitely not taking this to mean that Nintendo is necessarily feeling the same way. They might have just talked with someone who works at Activision, who does have the mustache and the hands rubbing together, and they're like, we want to resell our games infinitely, haha! And, you know, but it could be that that does not reflect the feelings at Nintendo, so we do not know. So that's it for the major details, and the rest of the report is a bunch of analysts basically doing what I did in my other video, just kind of talking about why it makes perfect sense for Nintendo to release their next system next year. Everyone seems to agree. It just kind of makes sense. Transition into end of video, wrap up, and final thoughts. But first, I want to thank Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Whether you're looking to break into the tech world or you just love learning, Brilliant is a really cool learning resource. It offers an ever-expanding catalog of courses designed to help people of literally any skill level learn and work toward their goals. These courses cover computer science, math, working with data, all that good stuff. Lessons are super intuitive, lots of visual and interactive elements, and it's all done in your browser or on your mobile device. You can plow through multiple lessons or just do a small chunk every day. It's completely up to you. And you can even earn XP and keep up streaks and all these fun little things that make it feel like a game. Personally, I've really been enjoying courses on logic and deduction. Sometimes it genuinely feels like a Professor Layton game, and it's teaching me a lot about physics. Super fun. To try the entirety of Brilliant completely free for 30 days, head to brilliant.org/Arlo or hit the link in the description. Also, the first 200 of you will get 20% off an annual subscription. Thanks again to Brilliant. Transition complete. So that is all the stuff coming out of the report. And I will admit, a lot of this stuff is kind of gimmies. You know, it's one of those things where when people really want to seem right, they want to say that they called it. You know, you toss out a bunch of very safe bets. You know, I think it's gonna be another handheld, and I think it's gonna have an LCD screen and take cartridges. You know, like, it's not, none of these things are like super weird, super out there. However, again, the fact that it's coming from multiple different sources, all kind of joining together, all saying the same things, it makes sense. I really do think this is the real deal. And if it is all true, then I cannot even tell you how excited I am. How excited I am. One, as a Nintendo fan, obviously, new system, cool. But as a YouTuber, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's been 7 years since I've had an opportunity like this. A new Nintendo system. What a way to breathe some fresh life into the channel. This is gonna be a whole lot of fun. Really looking forward to obsessing over every teeny tiny little thing and blabbing about all of it. I hope that any of you are left to listen to it by the time the system is actually out. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments and all that stuff. I love you. Keep having a great day, okay? Just like if I was like, I hope you're having a good day, and you were like, I am. I'm asking you now. Just keep it up. I love you. See you later.